bad news for Canelo. Canelo, he is dropped from the #1 spot or the top 3 even on ESPN's latest list. Find out what that means in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Well. The walls have officially closed in on Canelo Alvarez. ESPN, you guys see it right there. Make sure you guys subscribe. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. I'm the best in the business. It says, despite his victory over Triple G, Canelo fails to climb the latest pound-for-pound rankings. Right? Now, what does this mean? They have Canelo. So let me give you guys the list. #1 is Terrence Crawford. They have him at #1 pound for pound. #2, they have Nayao Inoue. Then they have Errol Spence at #3, Usyk at #4, and then you have Canelo Alvarez at #5, right? So the fact that Canelo is at the very bottom of the pound for pound list when they had him at #1 a couple lists ago, and then he lost to Bivol. This is bad for Canelo. Now, when I say that I am the best and the greatest there's ever been in boxing history, in the digital space of covering boxing, I truly mean it. And I think the record shows, like if this was a video game, 2K or Madden, you would see I have the highest accuracy rating when it comes to these things. And I say things that, quote unquote, is not popular. It could be unpopular opinion, but I don't really so much mind that. I'm just giving you my honest breakdown in boxing. I don't care if people agree, disagree. I'm telling you what I see. And before the Canelo Golovkin 3 fight, listen to what I said, right? And I said it's the end of the era. I said this fight is going to be the worst of the trilogy. And I had all these different statements that I've made. You guys can check some of those past videos, and all of it came true. It was most definitely the worst fight in the trilogy. It was the least anticipated. It was lackluster. Triple G looked every bit of his age, etc. Meanwhile, you have Eddie Hearns, a British promoter with blue eyes, and he's telling you that after the Canelo Triple G 3 fight, if you guys listen to his interviews, Eddie Hearns stated that Canelo will be #1 pound for pound. Wrong again. You see it. ESPN in this new list, they didn't move Canelo up after a victory. So that's not good, because this is the same company that voted to have Canelo pound for pound as the #1 person. So when do you see a fighter who was #1 pound for pound #1 and they get a W back in the win column, yet they don't move up back to their rightful spot? So that goes to show you that people weren't really impressed with the performance, to the point where ESPN looked at it almost as if it was a loss, because he stayed completely flat. He didn't move up a space. He just stayed completely neutral. So that shows you that the performance with Triple G, even though in a victory, it wasn't adequate. And what makes this worse is ESPN and their whole voting process, and old media in general, they are notoriously biased when it comes to these things. So it goes to show you that even old media is at a space where Canelo is making it so hard to defend. He's making it too hard for them to defend and be like, oh, this is the #1 pound for pound. When you got guys, it gets to a point where it will start infringing on your credibility. If you start saying these radical things and you try to have Canelo pound for pound #1, then it's going to ultimately make you look bad, because now your reputation's on the line, because we can clearly see he's not the most skilled person in boxing. Good fighter, yes. But to say he's the best in a world full of Errols and Crawfords and Shakurs and Inoues and Usyks and everybody else that's in boxing, it just doesn't make sense anymore. And coincidentally, who told you that? Boom. You guys see my tweet. So this was literally the day after his fight, before these ESPN rankings came out. I said, You can't look at Canelo and be like, this is the most skilled guy in boxing right now, above all others. LOL, y'all are cap. Now you see the newest pound for pound list, and guess what? Boom. They have removed Canelo from, the top 4 spaces. So nobody believes it anymore. So despite his promoter, Eddie Hearn, lying and, doing an interview saying after this Triple G fight, it'll show that Canelo's the best fighter in the world. And Canelo said this too. Let's keep in mind. Canelo says, despite losing to Bivol, I'm still the best fighter in the world. So the lie detector test determined it was a lie. Nobody believes that anymore because ESPN, again, and the thing that's shocking is when I'm saying this stuff and old media is also saying the same thing. And there's oftentimes where we disagree. But when old media, who's famous for putting out like propaganda lists or excluding certain people like Jermall Charlo, you see he's not on the list. Or Jermell Charlo's not on the list. Devin Haney's not on the list. So they're notorious for excluding people who rightfully could be or should be on the list, etc. So basically favoritism and bias. They're not even impressed. So Canelo's not even doing enough to the point where they could stick their necks out on the line and be like, oh yeah, Canelo's the best in the world. So I know that Canelo Chupapi Muñeños and all the Canelo Man fans, they were angry when I said this, but again, the walls are closing in. The world sees it. How do you fight Golovkin? You've already shared the ring with him for 24 rounds, and you really don't look sensational. Like, imagine if Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia 3 times. It wouldn't even take 3 times. He'd probably stop him in the second fight, right? And, you look at Floyd Mayweather. What if Floyd Mayweather fought Marcos Maidana 3 times? If you've seen the first fight and in the second fight and the adjustments Floyd made to make it even more decidedly in his favor, then imagine what a third fight would have been for Floyd Mayweather. Or shout out to Andre Ward, SOG Ward. You look at the first Kovalev fight, pretty close and, good back and forth stuff, controversial to some. But you look at the adjustments made by Olympic gold medalist SOG Ward, and it was like he showed that he's the better fighter. So can you imagine if Andre Ward and Kovalev fought for a third time? It would be like, dang, Andre Ward just has his number, and it would look worse and worse. And that's what happens when you have a master class boxer and someone who is truly the most skilled. Because keep in mind, Floyd Mayweather, as well as Andre Ward, they were number 1 pound for pound guys. You can't put Canelo on this list. You had everything in your favor versus Triple G. He was the aging fighter who looked fledgling, looked older. His performances were not looking the same. He was 40, going to be 41 next year. He had inactivity. He had no experience at the weight class you brought him up to, whereas you did. You were undisputed at that weight class, and you had fought even higher at 175, and you can't really even damage Triple G. You didn't hurt him. You didn't knock him down, and you couldn't make it look more impressive than that, and people were left like, hey, this is a boring fight. Versus, again, if you put Kovalev in with Ward a third time, we know what would happen. Same thing with Ward and Maidana. Because the second, it only took 2 fights, and then they made it huge adjustments to show that they were far superior. So the fact that ESPN is not moving Canelo up, it shows you that it is everything I said, the end of an era. Boom. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you needed gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description, customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work.